Have you ever had an options trade start to go against your prediction and wondered, what can I do to protect it? Well, you can adjust your options trade in just a few ways to maximize profit and avoid loss. And we're going to talk about that in this video today. Now, before we get started, I want you to know that I have been trading for more than 20 years, and I publish a ton of options and stock trading videos. So if you subscribe and hit the notification bell, you won't miss any of the future content. Now, let's get on to this video. So what is adjusting? Well, adjusting an options trade means changing your existing positions to either lock in profits, protect your profits, or reduce your losses. And there's two common ways to adjust your options positions. The first one is to roll your trade. And rolling involves closing your current position and opening a new one with a different strike price, expiration date, or both. Second, if you're selling options, you can buy a contract to close out that short position and limit potential losses. And we'll talk more about them later when I'll give you some specific examples. Now, that's all well and good, but how do you know when to adjust your trades? The general rule of thumb is that when using more aggressive strategies like naked calls and cash secured puts, well, you're going to need to monitor your positions closely and be quick with your adjustment. Ideally, that's when the underlying price starts to close in on your short strike price. Remember, short options are at risk for assignment whenever they're in the money. Well, at least they are for the American style options. And trust me, you do not want to be that guy who lost $43,000 or negative 14,000% on a single naked trade because they didn't adjust it. Now, for risk-defined options trades like iron condors or vertical spreads, you can be slower to adjust since you won't likely have too much exposure in these trades, and I'll explain more about that later. But no matter what, a loss is a loss, and when and why you adjust your trades will be up to you. Now, let's move on to adjusting specific strategy trades. Starting with the long call. The long call option strategy involves buying call options with the expectation that the underlying asset's price will rise above the strike price at expiration, at or before expiration. And this is how it looks on your usual options P&L profile. However, as markets conditions changes, the initial position might need to be adjusted. So let's say your long call positions are doing well, but you want to lock in some of those profits while keeping a part of your position open, kind of like wanting to have your cake and eat it too. Well, in that case, you can sell just a portion of your position. Let me give you a quick example. Let's say you bought 4 call options on Tesla with a $235 strike price, and you paid $3 each, or $1,200 total, that expires in 30 days. On this trade, your break-even price is going to be $238. Now, let's say 10 days into the contract, Tesla's price shoots up to $241. Now, if you exercise it, that's nice, you'll get a $3 profit per share. However, the option now has $6 of intrinsic value, and that you calculate by subtracting the $235 strike price from the current asset price. Also, the option still has 20 days to expiration, which means it still has extrinsic or time value. And that means that other traders might be willing to pay more than $6 because the option still has time to earn more. So let's say the option you bought for $3 is now worth $7. Well, you can lock in your profits and initiate what we call a sell to close order for two of the four option contracts for $7 a share, and somebody will buy it. That means you earn $4 in profit or $800 in total, since we multiply it by 100 times 100 shares per contract times two contracts. Now, you still have two option contracts in play, right? Now, if Tesla goes to $238 by expiration, both those options, well, they expire in the money, but just enough to break even for you. So you'd likely want to sell the options for that $3 of intrinsic value that's left, and you'll have still made $800 in total on the trade, which is actually quite good for 10 days, I think. Now, if you had held on to all four options until expiration, all of your long calls would have ended up at break-even point, and you would have earned a big fat zero. Actually, you may have earned less because you would probably had to pay some commissions or trading fees, to sell those options, or exercise if you decided to do that. Now, there's nothing wrong with taking a little profit from time to time, and selling a part of your position maintains your exposure to potential upside or downside while securing a portion of your profit. Oh, and by the way, if you want to know more about extrinsic and intrinsic values of options, check out this video up here. Now, if the underlying stock in your long call position experiences a sharp price drop near expiration, you can let your position expire worthless and you lose the premium you paid. Or you can sell it for whatever remaining extrinsic value remains. It might be just a few pennies, it might be $1, who knows. Or you can turn it into a vertical spread to limit your losses. But be careful on this one, okay? So we're going to use the previous $235 strike price on Tesla on that call option as an example. So you remember that one option, you paid $3 in premium from it. However, Tesla's price, let's say, dropped to $230 5 days before expiration. And you think Tesla's going to continue to drop. So what do? Well, in this situation, you could sell or write an at-the-money call option with a $230 strike price that expires the same day as your original long call. So let's assume you manage to sell the call and you get $1.50 per share, or $150 on the contract. That means your maximum loss on this leg is now $1.50. So if the price of Tesla stays at $230 or moves below, say to $225 or $210 or whatever, you get to keep your premium and your loss on the trade is $1.50. However, or $150 total. However, since this is now a vertical spread, you'll want the stock to stay below the short strike price of $230. If it moves above it, then you're going to lose some of that premium you collected, or even more. So be careful here. The maximum loss on a vertical spread is the difference between the strike prices plus any net premium. In this case, the width of the strike prices is $5, and the net premium happened to be a debit, meaning you paid $1.50 to get into that trade, making the maximum loss $6.50 or $650 per contract. So you want to be sure that the stock is going to continue to move lower if you're going to do this. Now, another example of adjusting a long option position is closing out your position and reopening a new one. And this is what rolling an option is. So again, let's say Tesla's stock price drops to $230 10 days before expiration. Well, you have two options here. You can either roll down your position to a more favorable strike price, closer to the current underlying price, or you keep the original $235 strike. Alternatively, you can roll up your long call to a later expiration date. Or if you want to be completely safe, you can roll down the strike price and simultaneously roll up the expiration. And these choices are the most used adjustment strategies for different options trades. Now, for both examples, you're going to need to initiate a sell to close order on Tesla with the same $235 strike price and the same expiration date to zero out your position. And since this new short call is out of the money, the premium you receive for it will most definitely be less than the original $3 that you paid. Say you get $2 for the short call. Your loss at this point will be $1 or $100 per contract, which will then be added on top of any calculation for your new break-even price. Now, if you have a long put option, and you need to adjust that, well, you'll have the same choices as you did with adjusting a long call. The only difference is instead of adjusting the strike price upward, you're going to be adjusting the price, well, you're going to be adjusting to a lower strike price in that case. All right, so writing put options allows you to collect a premium at the start of a trade, and that represents your maximum profit. And you want to keep as much of that profit as you can. I mean, who wouldn't want to, right? And the way you keep that profit is by the option expiring worthless. However, you need to know that you're at risk of assignment whenever you write any type of option. But since the only logical reason that a buyer would exercise the option is if the price of the asset goes below the strike, well, that means that you'd be in a loss position. Say, for example, you wrote a Tesla put with the $235 strike and collect $1 for that trade or $100 for the option, and the price goes to $230 and gets assigned. Well, that means you're looking at a maximum loss of $4. Now, if the underlying price starts moving close to your short put, you might want to roll down your strike or the expiration date. And to do that, you're going to need to initiate what we call a buy to close order. And just like with call options, you can turn your short put into a vertical spread by buying a put option with a lower strike price, thereby limiting your losses and your potential profit. The covered call is an options trading strategy that allows you to sell calls against an asset that you already own, allowing you to receive a premium. And in most cases, you would want it for the assets for the long term. So you don't want them to get assigned. Remember, at any time that you're selling options, you're at risk of assignment. Now, short calls can get assigned at any time within the expiration date for any reason, but 99.9% of the time, you'll only get assigned if the asset's price moves above the strike price. So let's say you own 100 shares of Tesla, you bought them for, let's say, $233 each, and you sell a call option on it with a $242 strike price, and you collect $2, it expires in 30 days. Fast forward to day 26, and you wake up to find that Tesla's price is now $239. Buyers are lining up to get their shares, pushing up Tesla almost, some more. And that's a little bit too close for comfort because you don't want to be selling your shares. So what do you do? Well, you can close out your original short call and open a new one with either a longer expiration date or a higher strike price, or both. To close the short call, what you're going to need to do is buy another call with the same expiration and same strike price, and you're going to do this with what they call a buy to close order. And this will likely cost you more than the premium that you collected on that long call, since the new long call is more or less out of the money as it was to begin with. To adjust the strike price, you'll have to sell another call, say at a higher strike. So let's say $247 with the same expiration date, or one a little bit further out. But only do this if you're sure that Tesla's stock isn't going to reach your new strike. Or, as mentioned earlier, you could move up your expiration date while keeping the same strike price if you're confident that Tesla stock wouldn't go any further. Just close out the position and sell another call that expires in, let's say, 30 days from that point. Either way, you're going to limit your chances of losing your Tesla shares prematurely, so you can write as many covered calls as you want until you're ready to sell them. The bear call spread is an option strategy that involves selling a call while buying another call with a lower strike price to cover your short position. Directionally, a bear call spread is a bearish trade, right? Meaning it works well when markets move lower, hence the word bear. And this strategy aims to earn a premium and profit from a slight or a decline in stock price. If all options expire worthless, you get the maximum profit. Bear calls will start taking on losses when the underlying price goes up, and the maximum loss condition is when the stock's price crosses above the long strike price on or before expiration. So like a covered call, you'll need to defend your short position with a buy to close order, and then either selling another call option with a higher strike price or a longer expiration date. Thing is though, when it comes to adjusting vertical spreads, you need to be sure it's worth it. With a vertical spread, the risk of loss is usually minimal, and in my experience, it's often better to just close out the entire trade and find another opportunity using an option scanner. Bull put spreads are the same as a bear call spread in concept, but they profit from an upward movement in price, hence the word bull. So if the underlying price starts to approach the short strike price, if it moves down or gets too close or too fast, you can buy to close the option and write another with a lower strike price or a longer expiration, or both. Again, though, I find that it's often better to close the trade and find another opportunity using an option scanner. And by the way, I left a link in the description below for my favorite one that I use every day. An iron condor is a risk-defined option strategy that combines a bull put and a bear call spread. And this trade works well if you correctly pick where the stock will end at expiration. Think of it like throwing darts. If it ends up in any one particular zone, the right zone, well, there you're going to make the maximum profit. Investors who trade iron condors collect a premium, which is the maximum profit, and they get to keep it if all 4 options expire worthless. Now, since they're just 2 combined strategies, iron condors can be adjusted just like the spreads I talked about earlier. All you need to do is adjust the side that's being threatened. Well, folks, that's what I've got for you today. Remember, just because you know how to adjust your options trade doesn't mean you should at every opportunity. Sometimes just closing it out, you just take whatever's left over and try again is a better solution. Because adjusting too much could cost you a lot more in the long term. Always balance those probabilities, use technical analysis, and keep your eye on the news for your stocks, and use an option scanner to improve your chances of profitability. If you haven't already done so, feel free to like this video if you did and share it with your friends. And don't forget to hit the subscribe so that you never miss any of my future videos. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.